Welcome back, everyone. It is time to start the expansion of Dragon Age Origins, known as Dragon Age Awakening. Before we start it, though, we gotta talk. So, I mentioned earlier in this playthrough that behind the scenes, the way Dragon Age Origins was developed, it was developed by a team with the mentality that they could basically do almost whatever they want when it came to the story in terms of the direction that you could take it, the choices, the narrative, and some of those choices could be very impactful in terms of very much impacting the setting and changing things going forward. And I mean very, very large, impactful changes. Not to mention the amount of choices in terms of who would live and who would die. There are so many choices in base game vanilla Dragon Age Origins, including getting your own people killed. Because you can have almost every companion die in Dragon Age Origins. You, of course, can also die at the end. And they did that because, as I've said before, they made that with the intention that there would not be any sequels. That there would be no continuation. It would be a standalone story with no continuity or follow-up at all, and that's how it would be. And you could just do whatever you want with the story because of the sheer large amount of choices that were available. Then it became very popular and successful. And EA said, we need you to make more. DLC, expansion, sequels. And the development team looked at what they had done and thought about what they were just told to do and went, oh crap. Because how do you make a follow-up to this in terms of having it carry over all the choices and what's more, acknowledging the choices? Now, BioWare has, and when I say BioWare, I'm talking about in general because obviously the team that makes Dragon Age is a different, completely separate different team from the team that made Mass Effect. So when we say BioWare, people sometimes generalize without recognizing or realizing that the two franchises are made by two separate teams. And they've tried to really work on this and emphasize this and make it better with games like Mass Effect. Mass Effect probably really helped popularize this idea of importing a save from the previous game and continuing your character's story and having the choices you made carry over and continue on and have impact going forward, having them matter. That's one of the reasons why Mass Effect became so popular. Same thing with Dragon Age. The thing was, though, the Dragon Age team had a different idea because Mass Effect was kind of made with that in mind. Dragon Age Origins was not. So then they had to try and come up with an expansion for Origins and thus made Awakening, which is another example of what I would refer to as a mixed bag. Because there's plenty of good here, but whoo boy, there are plenty of issues as well. But at the same time, I don't necessarily blame the dev team for that. I mean, I kind of do, but at the same time, they were really put in a horrible spot. And I'll talk more about this when we get to Dragon Age 2, but there's someone I know who has a term for this. It's called the Kobayashi Maru. And what it refers to and what it means is a no-win scenario. An absolute no-win situation. That no matter what you do here to try and address this whole thing, how are you going to be able to make this work? How are we going to be able to get the best possible outcome out of this? There was just no way they were going to be able to make it as good as it could possibly have been. So, for one thing, they tried to see if they could have it work with your character dying at the end of Origins. Like, imagine if my warden had died at the end. How would we have continued? Well, you actually can import a save, but you're not playing the warden anymore. You're playing an Orlesian warden, a separate character. But then they had to try and make it where it's actually a continuation of the Warden character you played in Origins, and having somehow trying to have the choices that you made, which, remember, vastly large, very impactful choices, carry over through into Awakening and having some kind of impact or such. And there are times where it doesn't really feel that way. They also had to try and come up with not just new characters, but also, because, of course, they were thinking, oh gosh, the amount of characters that can die, we got to come up with some new characters, because they couldn't create an expansion where it was reliable on the idea that you would get to play with all your previous characters because of the amount of them that could die. So they actually had to try and figure out, let's see, we wanted at least one character that could be in there that was from Origins, but gosh, they all can die. Who's the least likely to die? Of all the party members, who is the least likely that you can actually get killed and have them die? It's actually Oghren, because you can get him pretty late in the game, and you have to jump through some hoops to really get him to dislike you to the point where he actually fights you in camp and you kill him. That's how he can die in the game. But you have to work at it. It's hard to get him to that point. So that's why Oghren ended up being the character that shows up here in this expansion compared to others, because a lot of the others you can likely have die. It's not like Sten could show up, because you could just leave him in the cage. And that's that. That's the end of his story. So, oh man, I cannot imagine what the team that worked on this must have been going through, and under the circumstances and stress that they were put under, as well as the timetable and the resources. I will say this, I commend that they did some really good things with this. For one thing, they really built on some of the gameplay stuff. This felt like an expansion because it really added more in terms of the gameplay. There was more specs, there was new items, new different kind of things you could get, new abilities that you could be able to pick up and use. They did some, in my opinion, good things in this, but oh boy, there's some glaring issues. Not to mention, of course, like baseline vanilla Origins, it's from a technical standpoint, oh boy, does it have issues. Now, I tried looking over all the possible available mods that were available regarding Awakening. Funnily enough, quite a number of them were basically just bug fixes, or fixes for various different technical issues, because boy, Awakening does have some bugs and other possible game-breaking bugs, and just other issues, and that's what a number of the mods I found are basically used for. I believe the Golden Goose is still going to follow us, so we'll be able to make sure we have plenty of gold, because, whoo boy, we're going to need it! Unfortunately, though, there's no extra approval gifts like I can get for Bodan for approval, but I did find a mod that's supposed to help kind of add extra info as to what gift is intended for who. So yeah, I tried to do what I could in terms of adding mods that would try to help make the experience of going through Awakening better than it usually is, considering the amount of technical issues you can encounter. But yeah, Awakening is a decent expansion in my opinion, but there's a number of issues that just hold it back. And yeah. So anyways, let's get started, shall we? So yeah, as I was saying, you can create a brand new character, like I said. Instead of the hero Ferelden showing up here, which the story that's taking place is that, if you remember at the end of Origins, Honora said that Amaranthine would now go to the Grey Wardens. And so that's where we're heading, to a place called Vigils Keep, which is near the city of Amaranthine, where the Wardens are going to be trying to deal with something going on with the Darkspawn. But the idea was that you could either show up here as your character from Origins, or as a warden that has shown up from Orlais. Because remember, they said that wardens from Orlais were going to show up because they were on their way. So here, an Orlesian warden shows up to kind of help deal with what's going on here. That was one of the ways around your character dying. So, but we're going to be, of course, importing a save here. Advance. Let me just go ahead and make sure here. I think I've heard that the safest save to actually go ahead and do this is this one here. Because really none of the choices we made at the end really carry over, unfortunately. So I believe this is the one to go with here.
With the death of the Archdemon, the Blight was defeated. But the Darkspawn did not simply disappear. Most of the Horde scattered north from Denerim towards the coastlands. And there fractured into warring tribes. The region fell into chaos as the Darkspawn emerged from hidden lairs to terrorize the countryside. As the new Warden Commander of Ferelden, it is your responsibility to rebuild the Order and deal with the lingering threat. You have come to Amaranthine to join the rest of the Grey Wardens at Vigils Keep, once home to Arl Rendenhau, but now property of the Order. The lack of a proper welcoming party as you grow close, however, indicates that something is amiss.
What's going on? Why are there no wardens here to greet us? Something is wrong. Quickly, Commander!
So, I was curious what was going to carry over. Now, I actually have another mod that actually brings over a number of the promotional stuff over here. Oh, Starfang stayed. Yay! Brings all the promotional stuff that I have linked to this game and on this account. Carried over because some things just simply won't carry over. You'll notice I have a different sword equipped and a different shield. Now, fortunately, it looks like that stuff actually still is here. So I'm going to go ahead and give my Kalen's shield back, which is better than that. It immediately puts on another one called Warden's Companion, which is not bad. It's even got 3 slots there. But I'm going to go ahead and put my sword back on, Starfang, because of course I am. And then this other stuff, that's also promotional stuff, is still here. Not everything, though, but it's still here. Go ahead and do that, and that as well. Okay. The memory band is still there. So is Morrigan's ring. That also carries over. That's also going to play a factor because that can still stay equipped, and it actually plays a factor when we get to Witch Hunt. So you'll notice, yeah, it's interesting. Some of these other things are still carried over. I still brought some of these other modded weapons still carried over. I wasn't sure. Some mods are specifically designed for Origins, and some can be used for both Origins and Awakening, and then some are specifically meant for Awakening. For example, the Magical Goose mod is 2 separate ones. One for Origins and one for Awakening, and then someone made another mod to try and make sure that if you have one or the other, or both, that it doesn't cause an issue with the game. So, also apparently these carried over as well. That's amusing. So I wasn't really sure, because some things will carry over and some things just won't. So it's rather interesting. So I still have all of Kalen's armor and Starfang and Kalen's shield. So I still have my kingly armor, my golden armor. That's wonderful. You also notice that we have some other things. Actually, not right now. Actually, we don't have it yet. But we will, because this expansion was like, hey, we have these new things for you to try out. So this is a new companion. This is Myri. She's going to die. Sorry. Let's just say I was one of those that was very disappointed that, especially compared to some of the other characters we get, that she actually ended up dying. Look at that. Oh, that actually is, that still works, like, appearance-wise, because this works well, but that also can work as well. But at the same time, one of the things I don't like about her wearing this is we never get to see her without it, even in the cutscenes, which is a shame because usually we get to see other people without it. So sometimes I just leave her without the helmet so we can actually see her face. But anyways, let's just say that there's a character or two in this expansion that I wish we didn't have instead of Mairi, because I would wish we had Mairi, because, well, let's just say Mairi makes herself kind of likable right from the get-go compared to other characters in this expansion, but we'll get there when we get there. So anyways, so yeah, I'm not gonna give her anything. However, though, oh, we can't level up during a fight scene, so hold on. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Alright, so I was curious about this, though. Wow. So a number of these things still carried over. My Grey Warden Talents mod carried over. So did, of course, acknowledges the Power of Blood thing. But you'll notice this is now here. So this is what I was talking about, how they also started adding more to the possible specs and abilities that you could be able to actually pick up for your classes. Like this stuff down here was not part of the base game. So like that right there was added here. So it was this extra category of abilities right here. They really tried to upgrade and emphasize the gameplay. I've heard archery is really, really strong in this expansion. I've never played an archer rogue. I've always played a dual-wielding rogue because I enjoy dual-wielding rogue. But then again, we're going to get Nathaniel, and, well, you know, he's a pretty good archer. But you'll even see down here, all those skill points, now I can actually put them into these other things here. Just extra stuff like, hey, you can increase your vitality, or your clarity, you know, or your rune crafting. So, they really did try to add more to the gameplay, which I think is a good step in the right direction that they want of what they did here. But as we'll see, some of these, you know, what part of the issue here is what they do story-wise.
It's you, the hero of Ferelden. Oh, thank the Maker.
I'll be real honest, I'm actually very curious if these things carry over to the Golems of Amgarok DLC. Because if it does, I may actually be able to actually finally get that achievement of, hey, I beat this on, like, the high difficulty. I know, I don't... I'm conflicted about it, though, because I tried so hard to do that legit, and I just couldn't. I tried so hard, and I couldn't. Oh, my gosh. But I still want it so much that I'm willing to actually use a mod to get it. Yeah, I know it's cheating, but, ugh. I tried so hard, I just couldn't pull it off. But maybe this is where I can finally pull it off. To be able to actually, like, oh, just kind of get that burden off. You know, even if I have to use a mod to pull it off. Just like, oh, thank goodness, I finally, after all these years, I finally pulled that off. Where are the other wardens?
There was someone right behind me. A mage. He might have been a warden, I don't know. All I heard was screams and people dying. I got out as fast as I could and ran into these... You need to help them. You need to do something.
Are there any other wardens alive?
I think there was a mage right behind me. He might have been a... I'll see if I can't find some help.
We don't have a lot of time, Commander.
Nice sword work. You're not just a guide, are you?
Oh, pardon me, Commander. I'd assumed proper introductions would be taken care of at the keep. My name is Mairi. I was a knight in the King's service until I was recruited a month ago, but I haven't taken my joining yet. The Seneschal sent me to bring you back. I was not expecting this.
Where are we exactly? Wait a minute. Why should I be asking that? I should know this, because I was a Kuzland. Who is in command here?
Varel the Seneschal. He is the keep steward, I believe, working for the wardens.
Varel. That's his name. You've heard me mention... You also, by the way, the narrator? That's Robin Sachs. May he rest in peace. He plays Varel in this expansion. You may know him as the voice of Zaid Masani in Mass Effect. I've said it, you know, been saying it for a number of years, ever since he passed away. Rest in peace, Robin Sachs. But, yeah, he's a voice actor that many of us greatly miss. This is unlike the Darkspawn.
This isn't a blight. How could they be so organized? I don't understand.
Something else is leading them.
Other than an archdemon, you mean? Frightening thought.
Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and ask this. Where are we?
This is Vigils Keep, which once belonged to Arl Howe. Considering what he did to you and the rest of the Order, losing their lands is probably the least of his family's problems.
Let's keep moving.
Right, let's teach these evil bastards a lesson.
Alright, so you'll see that, yes, there are some extra specs here from the mods, but the ones that they added here were things like Spirit Warrior and Guardian. So they were really hoping to emphasize, hey, guess what? You get to now do some other fun stuff with your classes. Actually, hold on. Just in case. Extra bonus to stamina. Sure. Restores nearly all of the warrior's stamina. Powerful physique allows the character to knock aside any enemies who are in the way. Juggernaut. That's a sustain. For now, we'll go with that. Don't know if I'll actually be using it, but I'll go ahead and level Myri. There we go. So, Stamina Drought. That's one of those things that they added in this expansion. Potions that could let you be able to gain your stamina back, because as you were probably noticing, as we were going through Origins, stamina at times was an issue. Just look at Myri's stamina. Because of the mode she has active, it's already at half, and then she quickly uses it all up. That's a cool little visual effect there. But like you'll see, she, now I put her, to defend her, so of course she did that. But that's part of the issue here, is that,
Yes, come on!
it uses so much of your stamina by, turning on these modes. And then you kind of, just have to wait for the battle to end before you can get it back or such. Or, you can get a stamina drought to let you refill it. By the way, one of the things that actually a couple of things I love about this expansion is the upgrading of the keep and the scenes where you get to make decisions on certain choices amongst the people of this area and the ability and such. It's something that they decided to kind of continue in Inquisition, where you got to sit on your throne and pass judgment on things. It was something I really enjoyed in this expansion. I was very happy when I saw that they carried it over into Inquisition. And I wish they had done even more with it. It's something I really enjoyed, which was like, oh, we need to figure this out, and we need your decision on this. I was like, I decide this! It was something I really, really liked. Plus, I also love the whole, I need to get resources and such to upgrade my base of operations, and then make, decisions on this, and we know we need to decide whether or not we need to upgrade the walls, or the troops, or the trade routes, stuff like that. It was stuff that I really enjoyed that they did here.
It's a good day tonight! Look at your last two to get on my back. I'll get on it.
A terrified merchant, I'll save you! I can't save you because I can't get up this These stairs.
I don't want to die!
I call upon the powers of the Paladin to save you.
I'll be at the front gate, sir. If you find others, send them to me.
The incredibly powerful Holy Smite! I always get amused at the part where it's like, oh, I can't go up the stairs!
We're running out of bandages here. There are supplies on the other side of the courtyard.
No end to these blasted things. You're in a little over your head. Strike at me if you dare.
Oh gosh, I miss Morgan already.
Oh, these will help greatly. Thank you.
I will say one of the things I really, really like in this expansion was the added, gear like sets. I'm a big fan of collecting sets. You know, why do you think I'm rocking this set here?
Unbelievable. The keep has been overwhelmed. How did the wardens not sense the darkspawn coming? I don't understand it.
Something strange is going on.
For the darkspawn to have ambushed the keep so effectively, I didn't know they were capable of such a thing.
I'm gonna need your help here.
I hear you, Commander. You can count on me.
You see what I mean?
Twisted.
Myri approval. That's so funny. Don't let the player know this character is going to die. Don't let them know at all. I'm sorry. Myri getting approval there, to me, is on par with characters in a Telltale game. Like, this character will remember this. And then 2 seconds later, they die just randomly out of nowhere. Well, not randomly out of nowhere. It's in, like, part of the story and part of the script and such. But it's just like, this character remember this, and then they die. It's like, what?
I didn't do it. Oh,
Don't get me wrong, I'm not broken up about them dying, to be perfectly honest. Biff there made the funniest gurgle when he went down.
So, couple things. One, I love how they introduce us to this character right from the get-go. The first shot, we see him shooting fire, and then he's like, oh, ow, 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 ow. You know, like his hands are hot. We see the enemy burn to death, and then he goes, I didn't do it. Great establishment of what kind of character this is. Right from the get-go. Secondly, let me say this, in case I haven't. This is Anders. The person that we meet in Dragon Age 2 is not Anders. This is Anders here in Awakening. The one we meet in 2 is not Anders. Like, when we get to Dragon Age 2, I'll talk about this a bit more, but the more I have thought about this over the years, and the more that I've heard others discuss it, and discuss it with other Dragon Age players, it becomes more evident that this feels like a completely different person compared to who we meet in Dragon Age 2. It really does. And, well, you'll probably get an understanding as to why, but yeah. I like Anders here. I don't in Dragon Age 2. So. And who are you supposed to be?
I am Anders, at your service, mage and wanted apostate.
An apostate? At Vigils Keep?
You weren't here when we arrived. I'm sure I would have remembered such a lovely woman as yourself. We were just stopping here on our way back to the tower. Just a short rest, they said, and now they're dead. Such a shame.
You're not a Grey Warden?
That's what they call someone who doesn't believe in being chained up in the tower, so yes, I suppose I am. The Templars captured me and were taking me back, and then, Darkspawn attacked. Could be a sign, yes?
I could use your help here.
Then you have it.
Are you sure about this, Commander?
I can't say I'm fond of these Darkspawn, even though I'm no Grey Warden. Let's deal with them now, and we can discuss what comes later. Later.
Most people enjoy being kicked in the head to be woken up each morning. Me, I'm just so picky. Anders is an apostate mage. He was arrested by Templars who intended to cart him back to the Circle Tower. Vigils Keep was to have been a short stop on their long journey. Unfortunately, the keep was attacked just after the group arrived, and Anders was found standing over the bodies of his captors. He insisted they were killed by Darkspawn. Regardless, Anders joined Robert to defeat the Darkspawn Vigils Keep. Full thing here for Alistair. And full thing here for Queen and Nora. Balin. Kaelin. Cothrian. Duncan. Eamon. Endrin. Flemeth. I'm just curious if there's anything here about Myri. Anything here at all. Isolde, Leliana, Locane. Morrigan, Ogren, Shale, Stan, Tegan, Valendrian, Wynn, Zathrian, Zevran, Witherfang. Nope, not a thing about Myri. That's amusing. I love that Anders right away is a spirit healer. Arcane Warrior and Battle Mage. And of course he does cold. More stuff there for Mage and Battle Mage. Draining Aura. Don't worry, I'll be giving him more, because of course I will. Remember, I've got the books over here. Hold on.
Oh, just die already.
Gee, thanks. Actually, I'll let him keep what he's wearing since it's got mana regen in combat. There we go. Oh, hold on. Healer. There we go.
Got it.
Get to safety, quickly!
I need to get out of here.
I'll get on it. Now, better than later.
Come on. There we go.
Oh, we're scared now! Don't come over here! Ha! It'll take more than that to kill us, beasties! Come again if you dare! That'll teach you!
Twisted creatures.
Get to safety, quickly!
Thank the Maker.
My favorite part!
All right, all right.
I get you a ladder so you can get off my back? All right, all right.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Now, better than later.
Get yourselves to safety.
I need to get out of here.
Now is better than later. All right.
Get to safety, quickly!
Thank the Maker.
Okay. When we come back, we will be reuniting with an old friend and trying to save the keep from this dark spawn attack. Stay tuned.